Welcome to BBC London. Coming up on tonight's programme. A North London man admits murdering a mother and two of her daughters with a knife and a crossbow in Hertfordshire last summer.
6 months on from the murders of these three women, the community here in Bushey is still coming to terms with this dreadful crime.
Also on the programme, anger over a key worker bungalow being illegally sublet on Airbnb as experts warn tenancy fraud is on the rise. The dental charity that's bringing back its mobile clinic for homeless people after being priced out by the ULEZ charge.
And you're the
greatest potty man in the world.
And the sweet taste of success. We meet the Brixton patty baker and his family, whose flavours are causing a stir. Good evening, I'm Frankie McCamley. As we've been hearing, a North London man has admitted to murdering a mother and her two daughters during an attack at their home in Hertfordshire last summer. Carl Clifford stabbed Carol Hunt to death and murdered her two daughters, Hannah and Louise, using a crossbow. They were the wife and daughters of the BBC racing commentator John Hunt. Well, 6 months on, the community is still coming to terms with their brutal killings. Let's cross now to Alpa Patel, who is in Bushey with the latest. Alpa.
Yesterday, Kyle Clifford pleaded guilty to the murders of Louise Hunt, pictured here in the middle. He had been in a short relationship with her sister Hannah Hunt and their mother Carol Hunt. If I take you back to the events of the 9th of July, police launched a huge hunt for Kyle Clifford after finding the three women with horrific injuries at their home near where we are, Ashling Close in Bushey. Carol Hunt had been stabbed and Louise and Hannah had been shot with a crossbow. The hunt for Clifford lasted several hours. Kyle Clifford was eventually found with injuries at a place called Lavender Hill Cemetery in Enfield. That is not far from where he lived.
Now, Alpa, you have spent the day in the area talking to neighbours. What have they been telling you?
Yes, there's been a lot of warmth from neighbours, people falling over themselves to tell them how much this family was loved. Two neighbours didn't want to appear on camera, but one neighbour said Louise Hunt was a bubbly, fun and well-liked woman. Hannah Hunt was kind and warm, and Carol was everyone's friend, she said. She said 100 life sentences won't help John and his surviving daughter in terms of their loss, but we as their neighbours are here, we've got them, she said. Another neighbour said that she had been thinking about John and his surviving daughter over Christmas and how difficult that would have been. She said she's in her 90s, and she said Carol and John had offered to do her shopping for her during the pandemic. She said that she thinks about the family every day. She says all the neighbours do. Here's what another neighbour told us.
Very sad. We're very sad for the family, and our hearts go out to them. And we think about John and Amy. And, you know, we've had 3 church services, and, you know, it's been very sad. The whole neighbourhood's been sad about it.
So as you can hear, so much solidarity for the Hunt family. I've also been speaking to Councillor Lawrence Brass. Here's what he had to say.
We've managed to subscribe for a memorial bench in honour of Louise, the daughter, who was herself a dog groomer. And as a consequence, we're going to unveil in a few days' time a special bench in her honour, which we hope will be a nice memorial for a very special lady who loved that field and loved going with her dog there. She was a dog groomer and well known in Bushey, very well known.
How is the community feeling, given it's only been a few months since this absolutely horrific these horrific murders?
I wasn't familiar with the family, but I do know the neighbours quite well, and I know a lot of people in this area because it's my patch. And everyone says to me, you know, they are greatly missed, and they were a very special family. And of course, I know that too, and our hearts went out to them then, as it does now.
And Carl Clifford has today pleaded not guilty to an additional charge of rape.
Yes, that's right, Frankie. Carl Clifford has pleaded not guilty to a charge of raping Louise Hunt. He is due to stand trial on the 3rd of March. And you might be asking if there has been a response from John and his surviving daughter today. Well, there hasn't. But back in July, he said the devastation he and his surviving daughter are experiencing cannot be put into words.
OK, Alpa Patel in Bushy for us there. Residents in Hackney say they are disgusted a home meant for a disabled key worker was being rented out on Airbnb to holidaymakers. It has since been removed from the website, but many living nearby say the landlord has been slow to reclaim the property. The housing association that owns the property says an investigation is ongoing, as Thomas McGill reports.
A small but angry group of residents in Hackney on their way to a property recently built for a disabled key worker. But they say it is in fact being illegally rented out to holidaymakers for thousands of pounds a month.
Just absolutely beyond belief that this could have happened. I mean, they were built for local people.
It's really upsetting to think they're depriving somebody else who's needy of a suitable accommodation that's been purpose-built for a disabled person.
Disabled key workers, yes! Airbnb, no!
Those who organised this protest say little has been done to get the property back, and that's frustrated many.
Everyone who's found out about it is absolutely up in arms. You can see from the turnout today, on a cold day when younger people are working, what people feel about it. We're absolutely disgusted. Both Peabody and the council have been very, very slow about taking any action.
In a statement, Hackney Council said,
"We treat any report like this extremely seriously."
They also confirmed an investigation is ongoing. Peabody said,
"We are totally against anyone fraudulently obtaining affordable housing that's there to help people in genuine need. We are carrying out an investigation into these particular allegations. As this is sensitive and ongoing, we're unable to comment further."
Housing experts say tenancy fraud is an issue in most boroughs.
In London particularly, it's over 50,000 social homes are subject to some form of tenancy fraud, particularly this type of subletting, which is advertised on these short-term online platforms. We think there's at least 1,000 homes, in fact probably far more than that.
He says online platforms should do more to ensure council homes aren't advertised on websites like Airbnb.
The first thing they should do is independently verify that the property is not social housing, very cheap to do, and most importantly they should be able to pull down those properties from the advertisement straight away.
Airbnb told BBC London,
"Hosting in social housing is often illegal and has no place on Airbnb. We have suspended the listing and are in touch with the local housing association to assist with their investigation."
So a small victory for these residents in Hackney. Now the hope is someone in real need will soon be calling this place home. Thomas McGill, BBC London.
Lots more to come, including as a new blood donor centre officially opens in Brixton, health bosses renew appeals for more black donors to help fight sickle cell disease. A national charity has driven its mobile dental units back into central London for the first time in 3 years. Dentaid provides emergency care to homeless and vulnerable people and says it was forced to stop visiting the capital after being made to pay hundreds of pounds in emissions charges every single day. When requests for an exemption were unsuccessful, the charity redesigned their vehicles, making them smaller, more eco-friendly and also cheaper to drive in London. Matt Graveling reports.
You feel me pushing, but you shouldn't feel any pain. Okay?
A first check-up in 15 years. Junior is one of London's homeless community.
My teeth was hurting me so bad that I said, you know what, let me just come in and get it sorted out. It's hard because you don't have like a house to brush your teeth. You have to do it like outside where people are looking at you, which is not good.
Providing Junior and hundreds of London's homeless with free treatment is Dentaid. But the charity has been unable to use their large mobile units in central London for 3 years, after being hit with a daily charge of £500.
We think we were here in 2021. It was very much a case that we knew there was a need, but it was very hard to get the funding to be able to come in.
At the time, the charity paid their fee for driving in London, and this was followed by multiple letters explaining their work and asking for an exemption.
I organised the clinic here, and it was only when Dentaid told me afterwards, and I wrote to the mayor and said, listen, we've paid, could we have an exemption if we came again? And I was told very clearly that that was not the case.
So, in order to reduce their costs and their carbon footprint, the charity redesigned their vehicles and put everything inside of a smaller van. This special new vehicle is called Clover, and everything on board, from the kit to the people, has had to be weighed to ensure that it falls below 3.5 tonnes to enable it to come into central London at a cheaper rate. Their new reduced daily charge of £25 has enabled a return to central London, and what's more, the new unit is greener with a solar panel installed on the roof.
So what the solar panels do is that they provide power to the batteries, which then powers everything on the van. So the guys inside wouldn't be able to deliver such green dental care if we didn't have the solar on top.
16 teeth that you got?
One day, yeah?
Yeah.
Staffed by volunteer dentists and nurses, last year Dentaid ran almost 900 clinics across the UK. It's hoped their new smaller solar-powered van can now help improve the dental health and in turn the mental health of many more here in the capital. Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Well, we put the charity's claims to TfL, and while they didn't address them directly, they did tell us they have done all they can to help charities replace or retrofit older, more polluting vans, buses and coaches. A new NHS blood donor centre in South London is appealing for more black male donors to help treat sickle cell disease. The condition disproportionately affects black people and is the UK's fastest growing genetic disorder. The centre in Brixton was officially opened earlier by Britain's first sickle cell nurse specialist, who's regarded as a pioneer in her field. Barry Caffrey was there.
3, 2, 1.
A plaque unveiled in Brixton this morning for the life-saving work of the country's first sickle cell counsellor, Dame Elizabeth Anionwu.
It's a huge honour, obviously, so take it seriously, but you would never envisage that starting out as a 16-year-old when I started off in the health service.
Here, all mothers and fathers-to-be are screened and told what the chances are of their baby being affected by the disease.
Dame Elizabeth has dedicated her life to trying to improve the care for people living with sickle cell disease.
I can't tell you how much donating blood is helping people with serious, times life-threatening conditions such as sickle cell anemia. So that's the reason why it's so important. You really are helping the patients, the National Health Service, and I think you also get that feel-good factor.
More than half of Black Heritage blood donors have the blood RO subtype that's needed by people living with sickle cell disease, and it's hoped that this brand new blood donor centre here in Brixton will make it even easier for people living in South London in particular to donate their blood.
I started donating blood in, I don't know, like 2008 or something like that. It was outside the Sainsbury's and I just thought I'd just do it, to be fair. That time it was on a bus. The sickle cell stuff, the research that can come from it, people need the blood, so, you know. And I got blood to spare.
Marcia has lived with sickle cell disease all her life and relies on blood donations.
I have 7 units of blood every 7 weeks, and to find the right blood type is actually crucial because it's more like a vitamin, basically. The closer the match is, the better it is for my body and works well within my body than saying, okay, I'm going to find something that's close. It doesn't last as long in my body. As we know, my cells die every 10 days. So to find that actually crucial match from another black person is so vital.
This is the first ever permanent blood donor centre in Brixton. It's hoped the centre will benefit the whole community for many years to come.
Be positive!
Barry Caffrey, BBC London.
Transport for London has apologised to a blind passenger after they were left without help late at night last weekend. Kelsey Travitt had been promised assistance through TfL's Turn Up and Go system. However, as Anna O'Neill explains, they were left stranded when help failed to arrive.
Down you go. Disability rights campaigner Kelsey has spent more than 17 years fighting for the rights most able-bodied people take for granted. Kelsey received a Pride of Britain award from Prince Harry, aged 8, after losing their sight to cancer. Forward. But their journey since has not always been a smooth one, especially when it comes to public transport. Last weekend being a typical example.
I was travelling to go and see some friends for an evening from my home station to an area of London that I'm not very familiar with, in Dalston. So I asked for assistance from TfL, who will assist me onto the train, call ahead to any stations that I'm interchanging at, and also to the destination to make sure that there's a member of staff there able to assist me, to guide me around the station and onto my next train or to the exit. At my first interchange point in Willesden, there was no member of staff there available to assist me, which meant that I was then in an unfamiliar station at that point at 8:30 in the evening, having to work that out myself. And sort of almost more frustratingly, this happened on the return journey about 3 hours later in exactly the same way.
Kelsey relies on TfL's Turn Up and Go system to be as independent as possible.
Independence isn't necessarily doing everything by myself, it's being able to get the support that I need in order to travel or to live or to do those things when the support that should be available isn't available. That affects what I'm able to do.
You know, not all trips are optional. So.
It's a story familiar to many disabled passengers, including the head of policy at Transport for All.
Every single day, disabled people will be let down at some point in their journey, whether that's through pre-booking assistance or just the ability to turn up and travel like every other passenger.
Staff on the network do receive ongoing disability awareness training from people with lived experience of disabilities, but there's still a long way to go. Transport for London told us,
"We are very sorry that Kelsey had unacceptable experiences at the weekend when using our services and the distress it caused them. We are investigating and speaking to staff to ensure that they know exactly what is expected of them. We will learn from Kelsey's experience to continue improving our services."
Ultimately, they need to be prioritising disabled passengers. They need to be providing the assistance that they're obligated to provide.
What I would really ask is that people making decisions about how training is implemented, how funding is implemented, come and travel with disabled people, understand the things that because of the negative experiences that we've had are in my head and how that's affecting my journey every day.
Anna O'Neill, BBC London.
Next, it is a vital part of the lives of many Londoners, but let's face it, the Tube isn't always the most friendly and uplifting place. Now, towards the end of last year, one Londoner set out to change that. After a tough year, Joshua Ford decided to leave 100 little notes on seats across the network containing motivational messages and an invitation to contact him on social media. Well, as for what happened next, well, I am pleased to say that Joshua joins us now. And Josh, let's just first go back to the start. Why did you decide to do this?
So I was having a bit of a difficult time last year and I was forced into a position where I had to self-reflect, and I thought I wanted to do something which was kind, something I could practice some creativity and connect with other people. I love words, I love poetry, I love the power of words, so I just decided to handwrite 100 little cards and set them all off in secret all around London, on the Tube, on the buses, little places all over the place.
What a wonderful idea. Now, I didn't come across one of those, but 100 people did, and you've got a few. What did they say inside?
So they said lots of different things. I sort of write them in batch, but I have one here. You can have this if you like. That's for you.
Thank you. That's made my day.
Good.
So it says, open me.
It says, hey, you, open me on the
Let's
outside.
have a look.
And on the inside, there's a message of kindness and, an invitation to connect. And they say lots of different things.
OK, well, let's just take a look if I can get this one open. And OK, so I have to have overcome the challenges you've had. You've proven yourself just to how strong you are. You are amazing. Keep going. You've got this. Well, thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you very much. That's nice to know. And you put 100 of these across the Tube network, and people did get back in touch.
Yes, so out of 100 cards, I got about 30, between 30 and 35 people get back in touch from all different ages, all around the world as well. There were people from Brazil, Spain, Italy, and some of the people that got back in touch provided some of the artwork for the film, because it was a project, a film that I was putting together, and some of the music. So it was all about connecting with people around me and feeling supported by them, yeah, by other Londoners.
And how did that make you feel, getting those messages back? You put out the support, you put out those wonderful messages.
It was amazing because the project was to make me feel good, but the people involved in the project felt good picking up a card. And then people watching the film afterwards felt good watching the film. So it was like a triple win. And yeah, it's, you know, it feels nice to be kind. And encouraging other people that it's good to be kind felt good.
And absolutely spreading the love. Like I say, on the Tube, it can be quite miserable out there. You're heading home. You're heading home on the Tube. Might you leave one of these behind for one of our viewers to collect?
Maybe. Yes, no, I will, yeah. Pop it on the Tube, on the bus.
OK, so there's still more to come then?
Yeah, so I stopped the project. I finished the film, recording the process of it, but I still do it now just for me because I really enjoy it. It's good fun.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful to meet you, Joshua. Thank you ever so much for coming on to BBC
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Now, he is the self-styled world's best patty man who likes to be known simply as Baker. Paul Anthony Williams has been making Jamaican patties in Brixton since 2018 and has been so successful the business is set to expand. Together with his girlfriend Charmaine, they've been causing a stir with their, can you believe it, 21 different fillings. We sent Anaya Richards to meet them and some of their loyal customers.
I come for some lovely patty, man.
How did you hear about it?
All over the place, in the internet, radio, everywhere, television, it's all over the place.
This family-run patty shop has become popular for all of its different flavours.
I buy saltfish, callaloo. What's the one that they have?
Lobster.
Lobster.
This is Baker, who's been making patties since the age of 14.
Usain Bolt is the fastest man in the world.
And you're the?
Greatest patty man in the world.
Would you mind if I was your junior baker?
Yeah, man.
Why is it not doing it the same as you?
You're going to run yourself in a bankruptcy.
Who does it the best in the family?
Me and my girlfriend.
What are you in control of?
Everything. I've came up with chickpea and lentil, pumpkin and lentil, callaloo, jerk plantain. I was in the school for like 17 years and we used to have meat-free Mondays and I'm like, anything can go in a patties.
But on the meat-free Mondays, you was there, you were scheming. All the filling has spilled out of my patties, but it was meant to be that way.
These are your patties. You're gonna go to the front. Then now you're gonna feed me back with the comment.
Hello, boss man. I'm making these patties. Would you like to taste? Uncle, do you want a free patty?
All right, thank you.
All right, no, but you have to. No, don't run away. Out of 10.
10. Very nice.
Problem is, I'm not a big fan of sweet.
It's delicious.
They said everything's 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Do you have any words of wisdom for people who want to start family businesses?
Immediate family, nah. Someone that's steady with you and want to go the mile with you, then yeah.
Maybe start as a couple then. Baker said when you're here, you're not his girlfriend and he's not your boyfriend.
That's true.
I'm a different person. Shutter, come down. We going home? Yes, we are girlfriend.
When the shutter come down, then it's a different story. Every minute an idea come in my head and he's like that as well. Thought it wouldn't work,
Really?
but obviously I'm still here 7 days later.
Wonderful. Well, time to look at the not so wonderful weather. Here's Ben Rich. I mean, it's quite a miserable picture behind you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been very murky. That mist and murk will tend to lift a little bit over the next couple of days, but you may not like what replaces it because that mist and murk is only going to be lifting because the winds are going to be strengthening and we are also going to see some outbreaks of rain. So turning wetter, turning windier for the end of the week. Right now, pretty quiet out there. A lot of cloud around. That cloud's still producing the odd spot of rain or drizzle. A few clear breaks coming through as the night wears on. And where the skies do clear, but it is again going to turn quite cold. Temperatures dropping down to freezing or even a touch below. Now, tomorrow, we're going to mix things up a little bit. Some of that mist and murk will lift because this frontal system will be pushing in from the west. That is going to bring some outbreaks of rain. So a mostly fine start tomorrow with some sunshine, but then the cloud will thicken. We'll see some outbreaks of rain pushing east. So it's probably not raining for all that long. Something brighter returning from the west during the afternoon. Temperatures around 8 or 9 degrees. It is going to be quite breezy. But as we look ahead to Friday, well, the breeze picks up and actually it becomes quite windy because of this monster storm pushing its way in. Now the centre of this deep low is going to stay well away from us up to the northwest. But but we do have a Met Office yellow warning that's been issued, the risk of 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. That could well cause a little bit of travel disruption. Certainly not great conditions if you're heading out and about. Not only will it be windy, also some rain for a time through Friday morning. That should clear. Then we see some sunshine, but those very blustery conditions, wind gusts of 40, 50 miles per hour. Milder though, 11, 12 degrees. Actually turns a little bit colder again as we head on into the weekend. And as we look ahead to next week, it looks very unsettled indeed. Frankie.
Thanks, Ben. Well, that's it from us. See you at 10:30. Bye-bye.